This is not just a critical um, program, but it's also part of what satisfies Senate Bill 11, as well as Senate Bill, more specifically 179, which is David's Law. It's the anti-bullying law. By law, we have to have some means of anonymous reporting. This is the program that we're using. I will say that, again, you're going to see something about 2 different applications that I recommend you download on your phones that Mr. Cantani will talk about. One is for students or parents or staff. The other one is just for you that are on the triple redundancy monitoring list. And this is, I take this really, really seriously. And the reason I say that is that we've had some that are on our list of incident reports that came up last year that was never responded to at all. So this year, we're not going to let that happen. And that's why a much more formal program to get this implemented. What I don't want to have happen is if a child reports bullying or reports a child brought a firearm or a weapon to campus, and it could have been a hammer, a child brings drugs or is saying, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to take my life, suicide ideation. If we don't address it immediately, and that's why the 3 deep monitoring of the program, then we could, and this is probably much more dramatic and extreme, but it's at least a possibility as it has happened, and that is losing the life of a child. And so we don't want to do that. So with that, again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to participate in this. And with that, I'm going to introduce John Catani with Anonymous Alerts, and he's going to go over this program. And at the end, we'll have an opportunity for questions and answers. But if you have a question in between, if John doesn't mind, let's go ahead and take care of that at that point. With that, John, take it over. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Jerry, and thank you, everybody, for participating in the final training session here today for Anonymous Alerts. Today, we'll be going through the Anonymous Alerts system, both on the student side of how they report incidents, as well as the administrator side, and how you as administrators can monitor and manage incidents that are reported. We're going to go ahead and start off by discussing the reporting side for the students, both through mobile and web platforms. To begin here, the Anonymous Alert System is available on a variety of different platforms for students, and that includes Apple and Android applications. There's a Chromebook app, and there's a web form that's accessible on any computer, on any browser, as long as there's an internet connection. And that's a dedicated website link for Jubilee Academies. And here's the information of how individuals are able to access these reporting platforms. So the top there is the direct link to the dedicated web page of Jubilee Academy's reporting form for Anonymous Alerts. So that's if you want to use your computer or use like Safari on your mobile device, that's the website to go to make a report. If you want to utilize the mobile application, here is the information about that as well, where when you download it from Apple or Android, it asks you for a registration activation code when you first sign in, and students simply need to put Jubilee Academies, as it says there, and sign themselves in to get to the Jubilee version of Anonymous Alerts. From there, they're able to make their reports and use the system. And we're first going to go over the mobile application here. So just going from top to bottom of the different pieces that students can access. The top right there leads to a help and resources section that is populated with a series of content related to different subjects, including mental health, anti-bullying, substance abuse information, social and emotional learning, you name it. You can have whatever you'd like in there. Other administrators here today, if you feel like there's content that you feel should be added or look into being added to that section, please send that content to Jerry, and then Jerry can send that content over to us if it needs to be added in. Below that, you have the main menu here. We have the two main features, the red button there for sending incident report, and then My Message Center. Sending incident report is basically the process in which they go and send the incident report, where they fill out their information, they submit their report through, they can even add a photo, screenshot, or video. In that incident report that they send you, you receive through a variety of different platforms, which we'll discuss later on. But when they send the report, you as administrators receive it. You're set up as administrators to receive reports based on school building and incident type. So you are set to receive some sort of like a filtered subset of incidents in schools, and that's what you receive. Like, for example, those of you here today, if you're an administrator for one school, you're receiving alerts for just the one school, and then other administrators, maybe you receive it through different formats. But essentially that's how it works, is based on what the student selects for the school and the incident type, that determines who gets the incident. Now, as administrators, when you receive the report, you have an ability to reply back to the submitter as part of the two-way communications. For the student side, after they submit the report, a copy of the message is saved in the message center, where it's stored and awaits replies sent by you folks as administrators. So when you eventually do send a reply, the reply is sent, and on the app, there's a push notification that the students receive from the app that says you have a new message. So they can go into the message center and they can go and open up your reply, and they can send a reply back again. And that's what continues the anonymous or non-anonymous two-way communications. Below that, you see this red phone icon there. That's the emergency dialer section, and that is a section where if you click on it, it contains a list of emergency phone numbers, which include 911, different hotlines, perhaps important local numbers, you name it. Just like the help section, if you feel there's a number that should be added, please converse with Jerry, and then whatever is decided Jerry can send over to us to add into the account. And then below that is the display of the monitoring hours, where that is the monitoring hours that tells your community of when you as administrators are monitoring, managing, and replying each day during the school week. So for example, they send a report at like 12 p.m. that's in the monitoring hours. So people should expect that you're receiving it, you're looking at it, and that you will be sending a reply back to the submitter in that time window. But when they submit an incident off hours, they should not expect a reply from you because you're technically outside of the monitoring hours. To that point, they shouldn't expect replies from you, but they should expect a reply when the monitoring hours are back into place the next school morning. And Jerry, just to let you know, and Eric Waller just put in the chat that he's here, so I don't know if that matters for your roll call and attendance. So just wanted to show that there. But yes, so those are the monitoring hours there. So I think with you folks, it's 7:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. So that's the times in which you're monitoring and could be replying. And it's always important to remind the community that of exactly what the expectations are and exactly what those monitoring hours mean. So then they're not expecting replies at like 9 o'clock at night because you've told them that it's outside the hours. So that's the kind of behavior and kind of culture you want to push for. So great question there, James. So the monitoring hours are set by just the overall organization, yes, the district. So that is decided by that level. So from here, so we kind of went over the mobile app here, so I'm going to play a video here. that goes through the mobile application and the way the screens flow. So as I explain it, now you'll be able to see how all the screens look and what exactly it all entails. So let's go ahead and play that video here.
Anonymous Alerts, the award-winning patented anti-bullying and safety reporting app and system. Anonymous Alerts is an exciting new way for students to send in important incident reports to designated school administrators. Examples of what can be reported include bullying, cyberbullying, fighting, drug or alcohol-related issues, and more. Now, let's see how it works. Users are able to send in an incident report or access their message center, where they can view reports and reply to school administrators. But first, let's look at sending an incident report. Here, to send a report, users have the option to select the submitter type before selecting their school campus and incident type. Last, they type in their incident report and press Submit. By default, users remain anonymous. Users can reveal their identity by using the toggle below.
And it seems like
When users submit a report, they can establish an anonymous two-way conversation with a school official. Once a report is received, the school official can reply back to the student right away, and both sides can share additional information about the incident in a private encrypted data security wall. Optionally, users can submit a photo, video, or screenshot where users can unmask anonymous social media users making threatening posts. Next, there's the message center, where users can access the incident reports they've submitted and view their anonymous two-way conversations. Here's an example of an anonymous two-way dialogue between a user and an administrator. All communications are 100% encrypted and secure. Another section of the app is the Help and Resources section. This section can be populated with educational content, including mental health, harassment, and bullying informational resources for students. Additionally, users can place a call to an emergency number, such as 911 or other helpful hotlines, which can all be customized. Anonymous Alerts, helping you to empower students to make their world a safer place, one classroom at a time.
So that there was the going through the screens there of the mobile application, and now we're going to go to the web form here to show what the web form looks like for sending reports. So on the web form here, located at report.anonymousalerts.com/Jubilee Academies, you have the web form here that folks can access in order to send a report on the web. The web page here can be translated into over a dozen different languages. The mobile application currently is fully available in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. On the web form here, it's close to over a dozen, I think like 15 or 16 or so here, that it could be translated into. And if someone submits a report in a different language, on the web dashboard online, which we'll get to later, administrators are able to translate it into English. Has display some common information here just about the Anonymous Alert system and just some important pieces of info for folks to see when they access this page. And then below that, you have submitter type. That's a great suggestion, Jerry. Yes, definitely. If you need to, recommend saving this to like one of your toolbar, like on your browser, or I'm sorry, your like bookmarks, as an easy way to get to it. And for the reporting form, it's similar to what you saw in the mobile app in terms of what needs to be filled out. Now, I'm not going to fill out one here today because this is a live form, so I don't want to send it to folks who should be getting in, and also that would mess up your data of incident reports. So I don't want to do that there. But we'll just go ahead and go through the motions of what would occur. So here you have the submitter type. So with the submitter type, you select what kind of person you are, student, parent, etc. You select school. So you have all different school options there. And then you could select the incident type. So the incident type list here, you could pick and choose the appropriate situation from. Select a location as well, so common locations on the school campus. And then here you could type in additional details, saying things like, I don't know, bullying while out in town, something like that. But you have the details there, and you always want to make sure and encourage to describe the events in as much detail as possible. And then below that is where you can have the photo, screenshot, or video. So if you're a user here, just like the mobile app, you could attach a photo, screenshot, or video to the report as helpful for you administrators as you follow up and investigate the situation. Then once you're done, you click submit, and it submits the report through to you as administrators. And when you submit the report through, so I just skipped ahead here without submitting it. So when you submit the report through, it would give you a confirmation code that would be listed here. It'd be a red 5-digit number. So here, because technically submitted, there's none here, but this is where the confirmation code number would appear, and that's what the incident is tagged and known as. And then from there, users have multiple options. So I just want to point out on the forefront that this is, it differs here from the mobile application. So with the mobile application, you have the My Message Center. So you have the two-way messaging basically built into the mobile app, and you always can reply to submitters if they submit to the mobile app. On the web form here, because it's a website that folks are using, there needs to be the two-way connection set up. So that is where on this screen, they get to choose which section they want to fill out. Do they want to be anonymously contacted, where they plug in an email or texting number there so they can communicate back and forth with school administrators? But both sides in this conversation will remain encrypted, private, hidden, and anonymous. Neither side will know who the other is, but it just allows for that anonymous two-way communications to occur. And that's if you fill out something in the top section. On the bottom section here, the bottom boxes, this is where if you wanted to be not anonymous and reveal who you are, you would put information here that would be visible, like name, email, or texting number. That would be able to be seen by you folks as administrators and as part of just the way it works. So that's if you want to be not anonymous, which you may find parents more so are the ones that go down that option of the not anonymous section there at the bottom. But of course, that's up to the actual submitter. So yes, you have the two options there. There is technically a third option, and that is they could choose to do nothing. Now, when that happens, that means it's just a one-way report and you are not able to reply to it. It's only possible if they do it on the web form here. So they have to do it on the web form here and not fill out anything here in order to make it a one-way report. And at any time, just to let folks know here, in case you didn't, we have a setting that we could turn on here in anonymous alerts that makes this mandatory for someone to fill out before submitting the incident report. So that's something that can be added on if needed for the account. But plug in information here, click submit, and then that's it. Then you're set up for the two-way communications back and forth between the administrators and yourself as a student submitter, for example. And that there is very much the anonymous alerts reporting side, how students, parents, etc. can report on the web and mobile app. Now here, the administrative side, this is where we're going to get into how you monitor and manage the incidents through our incident management tools. So the first thing I want to talk about is the mobile app. So there's an administrator mobile app called the Incident Management Mobile App that allows you to monitor and manage incidents while on the go. Through this application, you're able to engage in two-way conversations through here where you can send replies back to the submitter. So that's possible through here. You're able to view all the summary and details of incident reports that come in. You could forward reports to others through here. Just want to point out, though, that when you do forward reports to others, the only thing that comes with it are the basic incident report information. Any notes and or replies that you've made for an incident are not included in a forwarded incident. And that's mostly to retain for security and safety, and it should retain with just the original recipients. So you have that there. You can record internal notes. So there's a tool in each incident where you can add an internal note about how the investigation follow-up is going that other administrators can view and track and have access to. And then there's even the pie charts section there where you can look at pie charts and statistics. You can look at it by incident type, like what's most frequently reported incident. You have locations like the common school campus location that seems to be having the most activity for things being alerted for it. And by device type. So you can see how many, you can compare how many people are sending reports to the computer. This is iPhone versus Android. You'd be able to have that information. Now, at this point here, before we move further into talking about the incident management app, I just wanted to show a quick video here that goes through the flow of these different screens, and then we'll talk about it a little bit further.
Welcome to the Anonymous Alerts Incident Management app for staff and administrators. Within our incident management system, school officials are empowered to receive incident reports in real time and have an anonymous two-way dialogue with the submitter. This helps school officials to uncover more information about the incident. All information is completely encrypted and private with our proprietary data security wall. Other powerful management tools include viewing pie chart analytics, taking notes, forwarding incidents to other individuals and outside third parties like law enforcement, and more. Anonymous Alerts is built on a robust infrastructure, incorporating top-level security measures, procedures, protocols, and government-level encryption. All messages and communications are 100% encrypted, utilizing industry-level best practices in our proprietary data security wall. Our self-owned and managed cloud ensures the highest level of security. Now, let's see how the app works. After downloading the app on the App Store or Google Play Store, open and log in with your credentials. Click on View Incident Details to see submitted incident reports, and then click one from the list to access the full details. In this section, administrators can retrieve crucial recipient information that displays who received the report, as well as their title and building. Scrolling down further, administrators will see message details, including a date and timestamp, incident type, the full message, and the confirmation code. On the bottom, administrators have the power to reply to the submitter, forward the report to up to 5 others at a time, and take notes to keep track of the investigation. When replying back to the report submitter, all messages remain encrypted, private, and 100% anonymous. This allows both the submitter and receiver to confidentially communicate about sensitive issues related to the incident without fear of retribution by their peers. Next, we have pie charts based on incident type and location that display incident report data. Here's how it looks for incident types. The slices represent each incident type broken down into a percentage, illustrating the frequency in which that type was reported. Clicking on a slice reveals the quantity and exact percentage of that incident type reported. And that's it. Thanks for watching and for choosing Anonymous Alerts to make your campus a safer place.
So there was the Incident Management mobile app and the way those screens flow. We're just going to talk a little bit further about it here. So here with the Incident Management mobile app, if you look up in Anonymous Alerts Incident Management on Apple or Android in their stores, you should be able to find the purple icon that you see here with the letters IM. That's the one to download for the Administrator app. So the Administrator app is the purple app. The Student Reporting app is the red app. Once you have downloaded it, it's going to ask for your login information so that you would input the group user ID, account number, and which is the same 6-digit number for all users at Jubilee Academy. So that's like the Jubilee Academy number, so that everyone has the same account number ID. That is all the same across all users. And then you have to insert your PIN, which is a specific 4-digit number only for you as an administrator. And that's what, if we put that in and sign in, that's what gets you into your account as an administrator in the Anonymous Alerts backend.
Hey, John, if I could interject there, just so everybody will remember, earlier this week, John had sent out an email push out with everybody's PIN. It was sent out a couple weeks ago. I had asked him to resend that, and as he mentioned, it will have the I believe it's a 6-digit code, and then your unique 4-digit PIN, and that's the number you need to remember to be able to access the program after that. Thank you, John.
And there is a Remember Me tool within the mobile app, so you just have to sign in once, and it'll just keep you signed in. When you log into the application, you'll enter the main menu. And at the main menu, you have different options you can select. And we'll go to the first one first, View Incident Reports. Where View Incident Reports, that includes all the information about the incident, the summary and the details of it, and other pieces of information. On the screen, when you click View Incident Reports, you'll see your listing of the different incidents when you scroll up and down. And just to give you a little snapshot of what some other things mean, the green and red dots, you'll probably see them for your instance. What that means is it's talking about if someone's replied to the submitter yet or not. So if it's a red dot, that means no administrator has sent a reply yet to the submitter to start a two-way conversation. So as an administrator, if you see that, you could go and start that conversation. Then you have the green dot there. The green dot tells you that an administrator has previously sent a reply, and there's basically an ongoing two-way conversation going on back and forth between both sides. You'd even see at the bottom of the listing, it'll tell you which administrator was the last one to respond to the submitter. If you ever see that field blank there, where the name Carl is, if you see last admin to respond and there's nothing underneath it, what that means is the submitter has recently sent a reply back to you folks as administrators. So therefore, there is no longer a last admin to respond because the conversation's now had a reply sent back from the submitter. So if you see a blank there, that means that there's a submitter reply that's yet to be replied to. If you do see a name there, that means that that administrator was the last one to reply to that for that particular incident. And then the last piece that you see here is threat assessment. So that is a level that you can select within the report details of the incident. And that, as a default, is set to nothing. You have to, as administrators, pick whichever option it is. So it doesn't have a set level to begin with. It's your choice. So if you click into an incident, you'll be able to see the incident report details. So you'll have the main details like school name and date and time and what type of incident it was. And you also have the threat assessment tab there where you can click on it and select what threat assessment it could be, from low risk all the way to direct threat. If you keep scrolling down in the report details, you'd find the incident message. So that is the details that the person initially wrote in when making their report. And then you have shortcuts to all the different actions there at the bottom. So for replying, you just click on reply to submitter, and it will open you up right away to the two-way dialogue between both sides. So that way you can have an anonymous or non-anonymous two-way communications. Underneath that, you have forward. So forward, same rules apply. You could forward the report of information to others, but they are not able to see the notes and replies that were made for that particular incident. And then below that, you have add information. So this is where you can add in notes and name or victim of accused or their ID. but you just have the shortcuts there to the main section. So you have reply there, reply to submitter. So you just click on that. It's a shortcut to the two-way dialogue window where you can still send replies back and forth. Forward there, you can manually send the instant report information to others, or you can forward it to a fellow anonymous alerts administrator. And then below that, you have the adding information. So this is where you can add internal notes as a team, as administrators. So if one administrator has access to it, maybe like 3 or 4 others do, and you can all read the notes. You can all make notes together for this incident. So that's what those notes are. And then on the bottom there, you also have, in addition to notes, you also have the, you can input the name or ID of the victim or accused. So you can include that in that add information section along with those notes. And then once say a situation has been resolved, you can close the case, which is the button there at the bottom. Now, in order to close the case, you need to have, in order to close the case, you need to have had a note made for that incident. So if there's no note, you are not able to close it out, and it will tell you that. So you just remember to make a note and then close it. The next one on the list here is instant replies. In instant replies, when you click that from the menu, it serves as like a shortcut to the list of the different two-way dialogues are being done and such. So you're able to go in and view the different two-way communications channels. And if, as long as you have access, you can yourself send a reply. Yeah, you could send that reply and it would go right back out to that submitter. No problem. That one's going to click and scroll through, and you can click one, and it just leads you right to the two-way messaging window between both sides. You can continue to share more information. And then the last piece of the sections to go over is the pie charts. So you can access the pie charts directly from the mobile application. And the pie charts are organized into 3 ways: by incident type, what's most frequently reported incidents, location, like where it is happening on school campus, and then device type. So is it coming from Android more, or Apple, or iPhone? You'd be able to see that information and act on it if need be. That there covers the Incident Management mobile app. So we're going to go ahead and go into the back end online through the Anonymous Alerts website and show you more of the web dashboard. So if you visit our website, www.anonymousalerts.com, and you go up here to the top where it says Client Login, and you just have to plug in your credentials. It'd be the same ones as everything else there. Just the same logins and information and credentials as you would on the mobile app. But now I'm going to put in the information here so we can go into the test account. So after you sign in with your credentials, you just go into the Anonymous Alerts section here, and this will take you right to the Anonymous Alerts dashboard here on the web. You can search for incidents using different criteria, whether it's dates, incident types, location, or submitter type, like if it was a student or parent, etc. Over on the bottom right is the archive, and what that tells you is you're at the default setting, which is view only incident reports in the current school year or since July 1st, and then include archive reports. If you have that turned on, you'll get everything across history of all the different reports and incidents made. So when you're searching for it, you can go ahead and I'm just going to click View All in this case. And we're going to take a look at the incidents that have been submitted through. So there's some examples of submitted incidents. So you have like date and timestamps of when incident was submitted, then you have the confirmation codes known by the alert type. It's like what incident type do they select, what school building they're in, the submitter type, like if it was a parent or a student or staff, wherever it may be. And then over on the right, you have the credible and substantiate fields, which by default they are yes, and you can always change them now to whatever it needs to be. And of course, the status on the right, where, as we mentioned before, if you want to close out a case, you have to have a note filled out. If you don't have a note filled out, it cannot be closed. To the left there, you have reply to column. So this reply to column, you see if I can click here, what it is it's a way to do a quick reply back to the submitter. So if like you need to send something quickly, you could just go to the shortcut and be able to do all that in there, yeah. So for the reply to submitter, you go ahead, you type your message in, boom, you send it, and it goes right back out to that submitter, and then that's what continues the two-way dialogue between both sides. So that's a shortcut way of doing it. And then to the left of that, you have under instant message, it says click here. So if you click that there, you have if you click under instant message, you enter the message details of the particular incident, where you'll be able to see all the related information about the incident here. You can add the name or ID of the victim or accused and save that to the record of this incident. You can change whether it's credible and or substantiated based on what you find. You can even see things like submission type. So where did it come from? Oh, we know, okay, this came from Android. So then that gives you some more helpful information. Then you have the message details that were typed in. So that was typed in during the initial sending of the report. But yeah, if you keep scrolling down there, you'll see that there. You'll see the information of the submitter. And here's where you can write internal notes about what's occurring. So I could say something like it's currently under investigation or something like that. I'm not going to submit an actual note because it's a live incident. If you type in your note here and click save, and then at the top, there's a notes tab that you can access. And this this note tab allows you to see the notes made by administrators. So as long as you have access to it, you can see the notes and maybe even take the notes, which would be in the message details group. But with notes, you're able to see a date and time step of when they were made or titled, or click here to see what it is, what the reply was. So that is what the notes are and how they're organized and what information's in them. Now, if you look up at top here, you're going to see there's a reply to tab. So this is like the more formal reply to tab that can be sent out to the appropriate individuals. But yes, you have your reply to here. You could type your reply. It's going to go directly back to Tamara here. So you go ahead, put information, click reply to sender, and that will send all that information. And when you send that reply out, you may get a reply back from that original submitter. Now, to view the message history between both sides, then you have to go over to the message history tab here on the right, and you can see the dialogue shared back and forth between both sides. So you can see all the administrators' replies that were sent, and then you can see also the submitter reply. So if you see submitter reply that looks like this, that means it's coming from the original person who initially made the report. And you have all their information here, and you can click each to read the message. And then let's see. And we went over forward message. Try to make sure I cover everything here. Yeah, no, that's you know, that's pretty much it there for the screens there for anonymous alerts. So you have like the message details, reply to, forwarding to others, looking at notes and replies. And then you may have noticed at the top of each page here, there's a link that says click to create PDF report. So what this is it takes a PDF and consolidates all the incident report information into one document. So that's helpful for like student disciplinary hearings or meetings. You can always refer to this document because it'll have all the report details up top, then it has notes, and then the replies. So you can always have the record if need be for that situation. So there you have the different tabs there for the web dashboards. You can monitor and manage the incidents, how you can create PDF once it's all done and everything. And then to close out the report, you can go ahead, like I mentioned earlier, and click the closed button. So if you click closed over there, oh, I'm sorry, it typically says open. And if you click the word open, it will ask you, if you didn't have a note filled in, because you need to have a note filled in order to close the report. So if you don't have a note filled in, it will tell you that you need to go back and make a note, which you do. And just letting you know as well, when it comes to like closed versus open reports, just because a report is closed doesn't hinder anything else about what you can do with it. You can still send replies. You can still do everything with the incident, take notes, forward to others. So just because you close it, it's not, it's more of a descriptive piece of information, just letting plainly if like a incident here is still open or if it's a closed incident, everything's been resolved. So in addition to being able to view that information about each incident, you also have a couple things here like the data charts. So data charts, you can run it by those three different criteria I mentioned before, like by incident types. You can see what's being reported most frequently. By locations, so you can see there the pie chart by locations, get the hotspots where things are occurring. And then by submission type, letting you know, all right, here's how many came from iPhone versus Android. So here you have that diagram as well to keep track of what's going on for that piece. And then all the reports you see here, you can download into an Excel spreadsheet. So you can take that information, download it into a spreadsheet, and export it. And it'll just give you these pieces of information. So you'll have all the main pieces of info, as well as all the notes. So you have all the main pieces of information, as well as all the notes about the it's about all these different pieces. But yes, you have your Excel sheet here that has all the report information, all the forwards. The only thing the Excel sheet doesn't have are the replies. Once again, that just retains with the original recipient. And then you have a couple other ones here. So let's see, we have our data charts, download reports. Yeah, see the data charts there, push reports, and then if you need to, at the top, there's a help button here that you can click, and it just leads to a help section that has a bunch of different documents, guides, videos, and more. Yeah, so you have that. You have this here where we can do data charts ourselves, download the reports ourselves, and you're able to view the information just fine. So I guess at this time, they kind of went over everything with anonymous alerts. I mean, do folks have any other questions that I can help answer? Or anything else you need me to cover?
Anybody have any questions on the anonymous alerts or the incident management system?
The only thing that I missed, this is James Montano, was the username and PIN.
Yeah, that was sent out to you in a push email earlier in the week, and that was actually the second push. The original one was done like a week or two ago, but earlier this week you would have received another one that had your private 4-digit PIN on it, along with the username. Username or the passcode on there is the same for everybody.
And what is the name of the sender that I should search for?
John, would that have come from anonymous alerts? John?
The name to search for the app?
Yeah.
No, on the email.
That would have been, it would have been something on the lines of like anonymous alerts, pins. It would have been like 7 a.m. I think it was on Tuesday morning or Monday morning.
Okay, so let me go back to 10.5.
Has your login information in there to access the backend.
Oh, I see it. I found it October 6th. Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks, sir. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions for either John or myself? Okay. Let me just say that a couple things that John had mentioned about the time and date stamp. That's exactly why we want to make sure that we are intentional with responding to any of these replies, because they are date coded, and we want to make sure that we're able to show that we have been responsive. And part of this is even through the investigatory process. When we're looking at it, and I say you at the campus level are looking through this to make sure whether or not it is a credible report, a credible incident. As a matter of fact, the reason I brought this up is because I was reviewing a couple of them that were still pending from last year. And one of them said that it was self-harm cutting, but yet in the notes it said that that they had backed into another student accidentally while they were picking up their backpack and didn't mean to, but there were no witnesses. So was that a credible report for self-harm or cutting? And the likelihood is no. But that being said, is that it was a report. It should have been followed up on, but there wasn't anybody that made any attempt on it. Last year, I didn't monitor it as close as I am this year. This year, I have it set to where I get throughout the entire district. I'm one that gets every report that comes in. So don't be offended if there's a report that comes in, and if I catch it on my phone, if I'm not in the office or at the computer where I can look at it, I may. And this actually happened on this one that we're seeing up there with Wells Branch. I had sent an email out to Miss Andrews, and she had already been on it. So like I say, don't be offended if I send a message out about it. It's just to make sure that we are doing the right thing. But in most cases, I'm going to try to check here first on this site to see if there's been any kind of traffic on it. But again, it's going to be very important that we do that. I mean, I don't have to tell you all that. You guys are in the belly of the beast, as it were. So appreciate everything that you guys do, and anything related to this that I can do to help, if it's within my ability to do so, I will. Other than now, if you don't have any questions, if you think of something later, let me know. My standard mantra is if I don't know the answer, we'll figure it out. We'll find the right answer for that. But anyway, does anybody have any final closing questions? Excellent. Well, John, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance today. And we'll look forward to working with you as we go through the year.
Great, that sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for your time and participation today. If there's anything else you need, just let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Thank you.
take care.
John, thank you. And I've got to run, so I will talk to you